Hello? Yes?
I am super non-conforming, L-sexual, reverse trans, optic gender.
Welcome to another episode of The Mysterious World of Feminism.
What do privilege and climate change have in common? Well, they both exist, even if you think they don't.
Well, I think all men benefit from patriarchy. You need to acknowledge your privilege first.
So what is this male privilege? Nobody knows, because it's a myth.
Even in the most gender-neutral country, a wage gap still exists. A wage gap exists all around the world.
Unfortunately, due to the limitations of the feminist intelligence, they still think there is a wage gap.
They don't like femininity. They don't like the female. It is terrorism against women.
If they are not doing stupid things, then they are doing useless things somewhere else. Let's be fair, they are a bit different.
Ma'am, please.
They are literally everywhere. Movies, games, music, you name it. But it gets worse.
It's not just flirting, just a hug, or just a joke. There is no excuse.
This is sexual harassment. Sexual harassment.
Sexist! Stupid!
You're a white male!
You're a man! Everything a man does is right!
Triggered?
I'm triggered!
Meanwhile,
Ivanka Trump, who works at the White House, chose to post the second most oblivious tweet we've seen this week. You know, Ivanka, that's a beautiful photo of you and your child, but let me just say, one mother to another, do something about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless. He listens to you. Put on something tight and low cut and tell your father to stop it. Tell him it was an Obama thing and see how it goes, okay?
a few moments later.
Comedian Samantha Bee apologized today for calling Ivanka Trump a four-letter word, acknowledging she had crossed a line. Tonight, some sponsors are pulling their ads from Bee's show, Full Frontal.
Everything is sexist, everything is racist, everything is homophobic, and you have to point it all out.
Okay. We have great video games. Then we have Anita. She thinks there's a lot of misogyny in games. She reviews video games, but in the worst way possible, creating imaginary problems like sexism and racism. This business model seems to be working quite well. Creating non-existent problems can be quite lucrative.
Look at me now. Look at me now. Oh. I'm getting paper. Look at me now.
But of course, she needs more money.
Last May, we raised $25,000, and because of people like you, we were able to continue doing this really important work. Really important work. Really important work.
While this kid starves, according to this feminist, this is an important cause.
Really important work. We want to raise $35,000 by the end of May, which covers expenses to produce another season of the Freak Show. Will you help us reach that? Now, all the money raised goes towards our ability to produce free Feminist Frequency videos, podcasts, articles, and live stream.
She actually managed to reach her goal.
Anita? Hey! Hi! So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Come on in. Thank you.
Okay, so how did you get into pop culture, video games? Where did that come from?
Well, so I started playing video games when I was like 5.
Hey,
there's some bullshit.
I'm doing video games, so it's not exactly a fandom. I'm not a fan of video games. I actually had to learn a lot about video games in the process of making this. And also, video games, like, I would love to play video games, but I don't want to go around shooting people and ripping off their heads, and it's just gross. So, hence, this is my response to that.
But of course, if there's a feminist, there's always a victim.
I spent 2 years working nonstop. I never took a day off, and I looked at every piece of harassment that came my way. I was severely depressed at the everyday harassment.
The question is she really helping the gaming community? Or is she just doing this to help herself?
You've said, and I agree with you, one of the reasons your show is so successful is people love seeing a woman in control. And boy, is that a timely sentiment now. And yet you said you never considered yourself a feminist. Why is that? And do you get the same kind of pushback in saying that I do? Because I've said the same.
I get pushback. You have to listen to it. You're younger. I don't listen to it because I'm older. Because when I was growing up and going to school and being a lawyer and trying to become a judge and becoming a judge and then becoming a supervising judge, I didn't do it through any organization. And I think it takes away from your own self-worth if you say, I did it based on the work of a larger group. I'm really not a feminist. I'm an individualist. I think that individuals each have within themselves the capacity to be the hero of their own story. It doesn't always have to be a star of a television program to be the hero of your own story. You want to be a doctor, a lawyer, an Indian chief, whatever you want to be, you can be the best at it, be the most recognized in that profession or vocation. That makes you the hero of your story.
That's right. You can be a burger flipper and be the best darn burger flipper they've ever seen. You can be a burger flipper and be the best darn burger flipper they've ever seen.
A great family person, be a great parent, be a great child, be a great citizen, be a great volunteer. That can make you a hero. That doesn't take a village. That takes an individual spirit. And I think everybody has it within themselves to do that.
What do you make of the Me Too movement?
I think it was necessary. Being a part-time person who lived in California, I can tell you one thing. Harvey Weinstein never put a hit on me. I'm speaking from a different perspective. As a young lawyer, I remember going into courtrooms and a couple of male judges saying, oh, you have great legs, and I don't, but you have great legs, that's a great looking suit. And what I said was, thank you. It didn't make me feel uncomfortable. Now it does. I think that the Me Too movement is an important place to jump off, and I don't think it should infect the workplace so that men and women can't interact naturally with each other anymore. Because I recall I do breaks at work where I have charity auction winners who come to the set. We day at the set and we have lunch together for various charities. We do it once a week. And I was taking a picture with one of the men and I put my hand on his shoulder. And he looked at me. We were sitting to take the picture. And I said, I would never have thought about that being inappropriate. But for now. So I think that the Me Too movement is an important movement, and I don't think it should be abused. So, that's it.
And this is where it stops. That's pretty much the best part of that video. And the rest is just meaningless gibberish.
Dun, 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 dun.
Meet Kathleen Kennedy, president of Lucasfilms, formerly owned by George Lucas. Some say she ruined the franchise with her political agenda. No. But that's not the only reason. Here are some fan reactions.
What the hell was this?
Hey everybody, Ryan Johnson here. Sorry about that, me taking a huge giant dump. I was just too busy shitting all over the Star Wars franchise.
I don't even have one good thing to say about this movie. It is just rancid diarrhea.
It just fills me up with so much rage inside of my body that it starts lighting my brain cells on fire.
This movie was complete fucking garbage.
This was the worst Star Wars movie I have ever seen.
This movie is trash, bruh. This is a whack, trash, garbage movie.
I'm so upset I can't even talk about it. I can't. I'm just like, I don't even, oh man.
Why are you even wasting my time with this shit?
I don't understand. The movie was such a disjointed fucking mess.
Let's not forget the feminist, as she apparently played an important role.
This film is just riddled with just social justice warrior nonsense.
Oh, liberalism. Oh, God. Oh, I can feel the liberalism.
What is this crap? What is this feminist garbage?
I could not have stomached another minute of her on screen.
Admiral Purple Hair was there as an obstacle, as an unnecessary obstacle.
We didn't need that. Nobody cares. I didn't care. This whole movie is about progressivism.
All men in this film, for the most part, took a backseat to women, to the strong women, which they shoved down our face time and time and seen again.
But she's not all to blame. There's this guy. He's the writer and director of this movie. Ryan Hitler Johnson thought that it would be a good idea to destroy Luke's character in the most pathetic way possible.
I told Ryan, I fundamentally disagree with virtually everything you've decided about my character. I almost had to think of Luke as another character. Maybe he's Jake Skywalker. He's not my Luke Skywalker. Listen, I still haven't accepted it completely.
As you can see, the legend himself is drinking milk from some type of alien cow.
Those are some fucking knockers. And like nipples and like, I mean, they're big, full.
He milks a giant lactating sea moose.
Right. And it's gross and stupid, and why? Why are they there?
Why, movie? Why?
If it couldn't get any worse, he didn't even fight. He did some type of astral projection. Then he dies.
Like a fucking fart. Just another fart in the wind.
You take the most iconic character of the whole fucking saga, Luke Skywalker, and give him the most uneventful death known to man!
The whole Luke Skywalker storyline was ridiculous and wasteful.
It wasn't a proper send-off to Luke Skywalker! He was just...
Disney didn't kill Luke, they just shit on his character.
He's a total bum.
I can't do this anymore. This movie physically made me sad. It ruined the Luke character.
I just left disgusted. I was pissed. For me, this is definitely the worst Star Wars movie I've seen.
I don't give a goddamn anymore, really.
When the movie ended, I'm just sitting there staring at the screen, and I'm just like, what? It's so disappointing.
The movie was so bad that there are a number of petitions. They also ignored the fact that the majority of Star Wars fans are men. Instead of accepting their mistakes, they've decided to pick a fight with the fans. Not exactly the brightest idea. And what a surprise, nobody watched the new Solo movie.
That's funny.